Azure VMware Solution delivers a comprehensive VMware environment as a service, which allows customers to run native VMware workloads on Azure. The product breaks the paradigm in Azure for enterprises. Customers can now migrate VMs directly from an on-premises environment to Azure, landing on bare metal, hyperconverged, dedicated nodes to run VMware VMs in Azure, exactly as they run today on premises. Deploying the solution is straightforward and simple using the Azure portal. First, use the search bar above to find Azure VMware Solution. Next, you should see there are no Azure VMware Solution private clouds deployed. Select Create at the top. You should see the Create a Private Cloud pane open up. This pane highlights everything you need from a prerequisites perspective before deploying the cluster within your environment. You need to be an enterprise agreement customer or a cloud solution provider customer. You must also open up a ticket with support to ensure hosts are allocated to your subscription for deployment. You will need to register the Azure Resource Provider for Azure VMware Solution. You will also need a non-overlapping /22 CIDR address block for the AVS management network. The deployment in Azure creates a number of IP segments for vCenter, HCX, NSXT, and vMotion. After you've ensured you've met all the prerequisites, select Next, Basics. Make sure you are selecting the right subscription that's been whitelisted for your Azure VMware Solution deployment. Associate the deployment to the resource group that either already exists or create a brand new resource group. Inside this demo, we'll use an existing resource group. Next, provide a resource name. Tie the deployment to the right region. This example uses North Central. Select the size of host, scroll down, and input the /22 CIDR address block for the private cloud deployment. If tags are required for your environment related to billing in Azure, select Next Tags. Type in the tags required for your environment. Then select Review and Create. The Azure VMware Solution environment will be validated by a Precheck that runs before deployment. Once that completes, you will see all the different Azure settings you configured earlier: the subscription, the resource group, location, resource name, SKU, number of hosts, and tags. At this point, select Create. The deployment itself takes approximately 3 to 4 hours. During this process, the bare metal hosts are provisioned with vCenter, vSAN, and NSXT. When the deployment finishes, go to the resource in the Azure portal. You will see the build status as succeeded. Next, you will need to connect the Azure VMware Solution Express route that deploys with the service to an Azure VNet. This provides connectivity between the private cloud and resources in Azure. On the Azure VNet Connect screen, you will see there's an option to tie the deployment to an Azure VNet. The VNet requires a VNet Gateway subnet configured in an existing VNet, or you can create a new virtual network from this initial screen under Connectivity. After you select VNet with the Gateway subnet, select Save, and this triggers a build of a few different resources: a virtual network gateway for ExpressRoute, a public IP for the VNet gateway, and a connection object that establishes the ExpressRoute peering into an Azure VNet. After this completes, your Azure VMware Solution Private Cloud is ready for you to connect to your on-premises environment. Head back to Connectivity and click on ExpressRoute. Here you can see there's an ExpressRoute authorization key being used for the Azure VMware Solution ExpressRoute circuit inside of the Azure VNet.